Hi, welcome to Similar But Different, the podcast. Let's do that again. Okay. But I'm getting all the benefits.
Without having to pay.
Right.
Yeah, they screwed me. And then I found a bunch of friends that I was different from. I think I'd like the gram more if I got hit up in my DMs.
Okay, this should probably end. Hi, welcome to Similar But Different. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jen. And this is Penny.
And this is Penny, the pod dog.
For now, let's see.
If she stays with us.
Yeah, she'll leave soon. It's getting close to dinner time. Anywho.
So I have been, bye Penny.
Saw that coming.
Really into the audiobook game right now.
Really?
With Libby, the library app. Yeah. I have listened to John Stamos's memoir, Paul Scheer's comedian memoir, and now I'm listening to Michelle Obama's. And
so only for memoirs do you like?
I really do like memoirs.
Yeah. And specifically listening to them.
Well, actually, no, I do love reading them. I think like it depends on the reader, because I also, before this, listened to Elliot Page's memoir.
Oh, wow.
And it was a good read, but I think I would have enjoyed reading it myself because his voice is very monotone.
I'm laughing because you said it was a good read, but
and then I listened to it. I realized that as I was saying it, but I was just like, keep going, Rach.
Yeah, we'll get through it, except for Jen's gonna go back and harp on it.
Yeah, like every sentence ends on a down note. So this is how I say everything. And now I'm telling my story.
Oh,
and
so
it was
read
just
it yourself.
very, yeah. And I realized I've listened to one fiction book, and I think it's harder for me to like get into it.
100%. I did I listened to all my books. Yep.
But in a memoir, I don't like need to create the world.
Create the world.
The world
has been created.
Is there? It's my
what it
world.
Is. It's
you
real
know?
life. Yeah.
Or I can like, I don't know. I was just like, I know what these people look like lots of times and things.
Yep.
So it's just easy for me to just like, oh, someone's telling me a story and I'm following, rather than a lot of times fiction stuff. There's all this like, I don't know.
It's
like
world building.
Different type of storytelling.
Well, depending on the fiction we're talking about, but like, yeah. Yeah. You need the details. You need, because you're building this whole different world in your mind.
Right.
It's imagination. You just got to let it run wild, and it's easier to read, in my opinion, for sure, for that.
Yeah. And I feel like with nonfiction, it's like this big, long story. Whereas in memoirs, a lot of times it's just like sections of life. So it's like quick stories. And so it's like easier to listen to and digest, if that makes any sense.
I think it does.
Rather than like, if I miss a piece, I'm like, oh, in a fiction, I'm like, wait, no, I have to go back.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened anything to a memoir. Like a memoir? Memoir? I feel like I want our book club to do it now. Like do one of those, just because that's the way to force me to do it. I always want to recommend them because they're my favorite. I did, I think, when I like first joined, so I didn't have any clout yet, recommended I'm Glad My Mom Died, because you recommended that to me.
It's well, she had a very tragic life, but it's an incredible story.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about that one. I've heard great book. Like those are actually really good reads.
Yeah.
I say
like,
good things.
I have so many I would recommend.
Good reads. But
Minka Kelly's book, Tell Me Everything. She was in Friday Night Lights.
Okay. I was thinking of Mindy Kaling. When you said, for some reason.
She also has 3 that I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason you said Minka Kelly. I was just who I thought of. Doesn't make any sense. Just ignore that thought.
Yeah. But I've now like all of my things that I have on hold at the library are just memoirs. And I'm very excited.
Libby.
Yeah.
Do you read in between listening to the audiobooks?
Sometimes.
I feel like if it's a memoir, you could probably like do a couple books, 2 books at once. If one's a memoir. I
do have a fiction book that I'm reading currently. But then I also, because you have like the 2-week rental of the audiobook, I sometimes feel like pressure.
I hate that.
And so that is kind of a problem. But like, because Michelle Obama's is 19 hours. It's a big boy. All the other ones are like 7 to 9, but then I also listen at like 1.5 speed, which sounds just
so
somewhat
great.
normal talking
Yeah.
because they talk pretty slow, which I'm sure they're like told to do.
Everything should be sped up to 1.5 speeds or 1.25 at a minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm really focused, then I can listen at like a 1.75.
Ooh.
But that's if I'm like, I'm laying here listening to this book.
I wonder how many people
doing nothing
speed
else.
us up.
Yeah. Well, you won't be able to hear us now if you speed us up. You don't know what we're talking about. I'm making it hard for them.
You made that hard for me.
Yeah, they can speed it up. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's slow. I do want to share. Okay. So, in listening to Michelle Obama's book, Becoming Today,
is that her only book or does she have a couple?
I don't know.
I feel like
I think Barack Obama also has one called Becoming. Maybe not. I could be making that up. I mean, I know he has a book, but anyways, she said this sentence and it's really stuck with me all day today. Failure is a feeling long before it's a result. And she's talking about like growing up as like a young, poor Black girl. Like people put a lot of certain like, oh, I don't think Princeton's right for you. Or this is going to be hard for you. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of that mentality of like what people believe of you. Like they put the like, oh, you're not going to be good at this before you even have a chance to be good at it.
And they're putting that, onto you.
Yeah. And I was thinking a lot about myself because I was like, okay, I'm smart, but I don't. That is not even saying that feels weird because it's not like a defining characteristic that I think about myself that I have. Like if I'm like, oh, top 3 Rachel traits, I don't think like, oh, one of them someone would use to describe me is smart. And thank you. But like, I struggled like a lot with certain subjects in school, like math. And I feel like we grew up in a society where if it's like, if you're good at math, you're smart. And if you're not good at math, you're not. And so like, that was like ingrained in me. So then I was just like, oh yeah, I'm not smart like other people. And I just think I was like, yeah, I wonder if that wasn't like teachers being like, oh yeah, this is hard for you. Or kind of like, and I'm like, okay, so it's okay if I fail at this because I'm not good at this versus a different way of talking to me.
Oh, I've got a book for you.
It's just so interesting.
No, it really is. So there's the 4 Agreements is a book, and one of the agreements is about being impeccable with your word. And it kind of initially talks about how like words are so critical in terms of how they impact you and like these agreements that you make with yourself. And so like you have a set of rules that let's say you live by. I'm going to get this completely wrong.
Excellent.
Because it's been a while. But it's basically saying that like, let's, for example, and I think this is an example directly from the book, a child comes home, they're having a great day, they're really happy, but their mom has just had a terrible day at work and everything's gone wrong. And the child's just happy singing, living it up, having a great time. Mom's got a headache. She's pissed. She's like, shut up. You have an ugly voice. Now, mom doesn't mean that.
Right.
But kid now has internalized it and made this agreement with himself that like, or like this now believes I have an ugly voice. I'll never sing again. And that sticks with them because that word at that one time was used to make them feel that way. But in reality, that's not what the mom meant. That's not what the mom wanted to do. That's not the outcome that she wanted for her daughter. But that's just like, you gotta, like, words are so impactful.
No, isn't that terrifying about raising children?
Oh my God.
But everyone's like, I don't want to mess them up. I'm like, you will.
You will. You're going to make mistakes.
Like,
but like, that's why
no one's perfect.
I think that's why I liked it so much. Because like, I'm going back through, or I feel like when I read that book, I went back through of like, what are some like things that I have said about myself that aren't necessarily true. It's not like the word that I believe that I should probably change and just kind of go a different path. And just like how important it is to not worry about other opinions and other words that you get said about you, because that should not impact how you see yourself and how you think of yourself.
Yeah. And it's just like, stuff like that just like gets ingrained. Like even I can say to myself now, like, yep, I don't like think I'm dumb or whatever. But then I had a like mid-year review at work, and some anonymous colleague that I requested feedback from like used some word like highly intellectual, like great to work with. And I was like, that's the biggest compliment that I could ever receive, because it's something that I don't identify as. And I'm like, gosh,
Holds a lot of weight for you.
35? 35. I was going to say 36, but I think I'm 35. I'm 35 and I still like hold on to that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I mean, like I did well in college and stuff. It's so interesting because then you start.
You're dumb.
I don't think I'm dumb, but it's weird. It's like, it's because it's one of those characteristics that I don't
associate with
myself. Yeah.
So when it's all the more powerful when someone.
So if someone's like, oh yeah, Rachel's really smart, I'm like, what?
Oh God, tell me more.
Like, I still don't associate myself as being like numbers don't come easily to me. I'm not like, oh, let me figure out the 20% tip I want to leave on this. Like, I'm always going to get out my calculator and just figure it out, because you know what? Despite what they say, we will have a calculator in our pockets one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think being able to do like fast math or something, that is what I'm like, oh, that equals smart. But there's a lot of people who are good at fast math, and I'm like, you're dumb.
They're not smart. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what that, because like, it's funny you say that, because I like math. I've always liked math. I've always felt like I'm good at math. But I don't consider myself smart.
And just like, because I know you're good at math, I'm like, Jen's smart.
See, no, I attribute like highly intellectual people. I attribute that to my weakest thing, which is like people who are like really good with science and understand how that works. History, like I can never remember any dates, any like anything like that.
That's just memory.
It is, I guess, but also like.
But then if you have a really good memory, it's just like,
you're smart.
They're smart. They know stuff.
You're smart.
I remember once, I don't know, I like had to write a lot of papers in college, and my other friend who majored in math and computer science did not have to write a lot of papers. And she was like, gosh, that is my nightmare, having to write a 10-page paper. And I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. Literature. Or she's like seen something I've written. She'd be like, wow, you're so like well-spoken, or like laid that out so nicely. And to me, I'm like, oh, that comes very easily. And because it comes easily, I don't think of it as like, oh, that's someone, it's smart. It's like, it has to be hard for me to be like, oh, then it's worthy of associating with intellect.
We do that with like everything, right? So like the things you're weak that are the things that you don't have, you find it like all the more beautiful. Like I find people more attractive when they have like not pale skin. But like I think about like people who I'm like women that I looked up. I was like, oh my God, I wish I was as pretty as she is. And it's like J-Lo. Or like this chick Shay Mitchell in Pretty Little Liars. I'm like, they are so gorgeous to me, because it's just not, couldn't be more opposite of what I will never look like.
Sure. Yeah, I'm super into J-Lo.
Oh my God.
I mean, she's very beautiful and fit, but she's not my type.
Oh God. No offense, she would J-Lo. Be my type 100%. She's hot. Yeah. She's also my husband's type. So
nice. Well, maybe she can join in to spice things up in your marriage.
Oh, I wish. Yeah. Gosh, yeah, this took a turn. Talk about girl crushes.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. So I'm actually very behind on my podcasts right now.
Oh.
That I listen to.
So you fill your podcast time with audiobooks.
Well, I have podcasts that I listen to religiously on a weekly basis, but because I don't, similar but different. Because those don't have an expiration date, when I have a book that's available in my queue, I want to, borrow it, and I have my 2 weeks. And because I have like 15 in there that I have on hold, but some of them are like, will be available in about 2 weeks, because they only have so many like digital copies of it. And some are like, will be available eventually. Like some, it's like 16 weeks or more. And I'm like, I got over it. Richmond Public Library.
Yeah, I got so sick of it, because like I went to I think one of the books we were reading was Tom Lake, and I got on the wait list, and I was 101st in line.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like,
I have some that I'm on that for.
I'm never gonna get there.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, I wasn't prepared. I was in the middle of a whole nother world.
You can delay it. I've done that.
Oh, I didn't look to do that. I just don't like the time frame. So now I no longer can do the waits at the public library on the Libby apps and stuff.
Well, I can't do it for book club unless I can get it immediately, because once we have a book club book, because I also have a month time frame, I'm like, I want to get this book and start reading it immediately, just in case I go through a lull where I don't feel like reading it. And I want to make sure that I have all the time available, especially because sometimes people are picking books that are like 450 pages, and that's a commitment. You know who you are.
Oh shit.
But when it's like a 330 page book, I'm like, solid.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so deep right now in this fantasy world that I'm struggling to read the book club books. I mean, it's like 7 books in the series, so
yeah,
I'm close to the end.
Okay. And then you'll start reading the book club books again?
I think so.
And not just come for the snacks?
I mean, I come for the snacks and the company.
Yeah.
Everybody's so great to hang out with, so say I come, I kind of want to host the next one if it works out well with the weather.
Oh yeah,
even though I didn't read the book.
Well, I was able to rent it immediately on the Libby app.
What was the book this time?
The Guest. Oh
yeah, we talked about this. I kind of think I do want to read it.
Yeah,
even
and
though
I think
heard
it's
the ending was rough.
Yeah, well, you can make
Spoiler
your
alert.
own opinions.
Yeah, I need that. It's going to be a good one to talk about.
And we still have like several weeks until book club. End
of June or end of July?
I think end of June.
Now we're just talking about random things.
I mean, that's kind of what this is anyway. People are like, Rachel and Jen's social calendar looks like.
Yeah, book club.
Yeah, I don't do anything except record this podcast, and once a month, go to book club.
And once a year, actually twice a year, go to Greek Festival.
Oh, yeah.
That was my highlight this past weekend.
Always the weekend after Memorial Day.
Always. It's so good. I already miss the green beans, which sounds so weird to miss, but they're my favorite.
Yeah. I'm actually sad. We were going to go again Sunday, like just do the drive-through, and ended up not.
Well, I was going to have Nathan drive through on his way home from soccer, and I heard that they closed the drive-through early. So they stopped serving at 6, but I heard they closed it early, but it's likely because maybe they ran out of stuff.
Wow.
So,
yeah, so good. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
You know, they also do one. Oh, right. Well, you said twice a year because they also do one in the winter.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah.
We go every
year. We went for the first time, I think, this past year.
I felt like that was a secret. Because, like, I never knew about it.
Well, it's not as... Well, I was going to say it's not as big, but, like, we waited in line for a long time to get in.
Yeah. I felt special because I was like, Nathan introduced it to me. It's like, they do another one. And it felt like a secret, like a,
Was there no one there when you went?
Exclusive
club.
It
was very.
Oh no, there was everybody
poppin'.
was there.
Yeah,
it's definitely popping, but like it's not the same vibe.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
You know what I love about Richmond is that I don't know, the idea of like if I don't live in DC, like I grew up outside of DC, and I'm sure DC has a lot of like festivals and stuff similar to this.
Maybe. I don't know.
But like our food type festivals, I feel like cities do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh my God, it seems so overwhelming to like go into DC for a festival and how like crowded it would be. And like with Richmond and their festivals, like, yes, they are very crowded, but it's almost just kind of like a giant block party.
Yeah.
Like exactly it doesn't how it feel like
the Irish festival in Churchill.
Yeah.
It's a block party. It's 100%. I mean, it's crowded, but I wouldn't say I mean, I don't know. I've never been to anything in DC other than like games and but like that's not even
actually thinking like driving into DC. But then I know there are people who don't live in Richmond who get stressed out about like driving into the city, driving into Richmond.
Katie.
Yeah.
Someone's got a parallel park for me.
Well, she drives a tank, so
that's the truth. It's mostly a tank because of how tiny she is.
Remember that time we got in her car and America the Beautiful was playing on the radio?
Wasn't it like noon? The country station always
does. She was like, I was listening to a country station. This isn't like the CD that I have on in my car. And it's just so funny because we associate Katie with like simple country girl. And I was like, Katie, do you drive into work listening?
God bless America every morning. Yes, I can picture that, by the way.
She's a true patriot.
Oh, love her. Wow, a little shout out for Katie.
Yeah. Even though we made fun of her twice. So sorry about that. All right. So do we want to pull from the vase jar?
I do. Vase jar.
Okay, well, it's on you this time.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
I did it last time.
Stay on camera. All right. Let's see what we got. I don't know why I do this so like.
I do too, as if like it's not already.
Yeah, I should just like pull. Ooh, this was a submission.
Ooh,
also same submission.
Oh,
Skylar.
Skylar, props to you. You're really keeping this podcast going.
I appreciate it because we need more people to put in their submissions. Like Skylar, he follows directions.
Yeah, BLS.
Awards.
Be like Skylar.
What Skylar's thinking with awards?
I think I know because when he said it to me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I bet Jen has like strong opinions on like participant trophies and stuff like that."
God, you know me so well, Skylar.
But yeah, that's fun to talk about. So like how awards were like as we were kids and how we think that impacted you, and then like getting awards now and stuff.
So like I can't fully speak to how it is now.
Yeah,
because I don't know, but
like you've gotten awards as an adult.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, it shows you how much weight I put into those.
Yeah.
I feel like as a kid,
or like maybe if you got awards in college and stuff.
I mean, I get, does like, your GP having a good GPA, whatever, count as an award if you made that like Dean's List? We had Dean's List, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. They would put something on our doors.
In my mind, I think you should always separate the strong from the weak. No, I'm kidding. I do think, I remember when I was younger, I sucked at swimming, but I wanted to swim because some other friends swam. And I swam, and they gave me a banner for like 8th place. Like you get a little ribbon.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck do I have a ribbon when, Mom, I sucked? I was like, I think
So that was your view as a youth?
Yeah. Well, like I was upset with myself because I wasn't performing.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I don't like to play a sport that I can't perform at a high level. And so, yeah, like I dove in the water. My goggles fell off.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst.
I don't even know if I finished the race. I think 8th was like literally the last place.
Yeah.
And they give you a ribbon.
Had 8 lanes.
Yeah, they give you a ribbon though. And I don't understand. I never understood the ribbon for 8th place. Because like when we would lose soccer games, you would trade badges. So that you like and all of that. But that's not like an award for you. That's a like, we beat this team. We get to keep these cool badges collecting. But there was never like you did great.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say I was also on swim team. I was also awful at it. I did not enjoy it. I think it was just like, that's good for you to do. So I did that, me and my sister. But because I wasn't good and they needed people to like fill spots in the like higher age groups, they would throw me in there. So I was like, I never even had a chance. Actually, I was okay at the backstroke. So I got to do that stroke with like people my age. And sometimes I would get maybe like a 3rd or 4th.
That's
but
good.
They'd just be like, yeah, in the 16 and up group, Rachel, you're on butterfly. Butterfly? I'm 10.
Whoa, that would make me, so I'm leaning in to think that you were better than you actually say you are.
I wasn't.
And they were moving you up.
No, I really don't think that was the case.
Oh.
I was like, no,
humble.
There's no way.
Butterflies, I never could do that, period. So I don't understand
Thinking of doing that now hurts my back.
I feel like the whole time, unless you're in a like Olympic level swimmer, you look like you're drowning.
Yeah. Also, what is that stroke? Like, I can get breaststroke. That's like kind of natural. Freestyle. And we're like, let's just flip around freestyle and have backstroke.
Yes.
Butterfly? Like, where the fuck did that come from?
We're taking a turn here in awards to understand swimming.
bizarre.
I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Who decided that that was an efficient way to swim through the water?
Yeah.
It's not.
Right. Can you imagine if you're being chased by a shark and you're like,
But let me butterfly out of here.
Okay. So I remember that I also did dance as a small child, and we would have like our dance recitals every year.
Like how young?
And I was definitely elementary school.
How old are you? How old was elementary school?
I'm gonna say like maybe like 5 to 7. I did it.
Hot take. I think anything below 8 is irrelevant. Like in terms of like give out participation awards. These kids are young. They need like something that makes them like stick around and get excited about something. All for participation there.
Okay, so with it, you had to do dance for 3 years.
Holy shit.
And then you got a trophy.
Damn, that's yeah, they really just wanted to weed out the weak, huh?
And so I did it for 3 years, and I think I only did it for 3 years because I was like, I want that trophy. So it was something to like work towards. Now, it wasn't because like I was the best dancer, because I was 6.
Okay.
I could have just stood on stage, you know.
There's some good young dancers.
I know, but like, this is not what that was. But then I got my trophy, and I remember, I think like playing soccer, like on the rec leagues, it's just like, yeah, at the end of the season, you get a trophy.
Yeah.
But once you start like getting older, and it's like, oh, there are like tournaments and things like that, then it was like, oh yeah, you get the like first place, second place, third place.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's once you're older.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense. I feel like there's like it's a hard line. There's a balance here because I do think there's benefits to the participation side of things at a young age only. Like I feel like 8 might be the cutoff there. But at the same time, we have too many kids. I say too many kids. I feel like when I was playing sports, there were plenty of kids that thought they were better than they actually were because their parents or their coaches or whoever always told them, you're so great, rather than say, hey, there's opportunities to work on this. And so like that person translates to someone on a team that thinks that they should be starting over someone else. And it's like, it's not. Sure. And now you're not a team player. Now you're out for yourself because everyone told you your whole life you're great. So I think that there's the negative path of your participation trophy type scenarios and like everyone's a winner thought process. And then there's like probably the better path of like, let's get them excited about this so that they do want to invest more time because, you know, and then once it gets to that next level, it's like, okay, now you can be realistic with them, but they want to play at that level.
I actually don't know if I have a strong opinion on like anyone getting any type of award. If like, I do think like, yeah, if you come in first, you're getting that big tall boy.
Yeah, you gotta have the biggest one.
And so I still think that is motivating. Like my childhood trophies are still in my childhood room and
in this new wall.
And I do look at the tallest one and I'm like, yeah, I remember that championship. Earned that. And then there are like, you know, the little ones from whatever.
But yeah. I mean,
I don't feel like it, because I do feel like we also grew up in an age when you're young, yeah, you get a trophy or everything. When you're like doing stuff and playing sports in high school or whatever, you don't get a like, hey, you participated in this, here's your award. I mean, I don't feel like that happens. I feel like people's issues are with like young kids getting participant awards,
which I don't know the young thing. I mean, you could probably contribute like a letter in a sport when you get a letter as like a participation trophy. But in reality,
yeah, that's true because you have to like
you have to have you have to have played in a certain number of like minutes or whatever to get it. I don't know. I see that as different. But like yeah, it's a different mentality.
Because I also think it's okay to be rewarded with like sticking with something.
Yeah.
And that being like, you weren't the best, but here's the acknowledgement that you completed this.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. So maybe it's more of this, the thing that I hate with participation is more just, or like awards, just giving out everyone an award. It does, when you give everybody an award, devalues the awards. Right? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Everything is a little less now. So rather than you getting, MVP and someone else not getting a trophy and you're the best, now you got MVP, the other person got like most improved or like you pull, you make
which
up
honestly
names.
is a shitty award to get, most improved. I got that once in the 4th grade. I'm like, so I sucked earlier, but I'm better now?
Yes, that's a great award, actually. It shows your hard work.
Yeah, I guess. That's more
you were
of like,
shit last year. Now you're less shitty. Yeah, shitless. Yeah. I feel like I know I've focused more on like sports, but like it's awards in general too. Cause like if you had a valedictorian and the next one down, which is what you have. Now let's say everybody in the top 50 got ranked and got something special. The valedictorian's now like slightly less. If you said, oh, all top 50 in every class is going to get like the top spot. Well, one is now...
many schools have like 20 valedictorians.
It's absurd.
Because they all get the same 7.0.
Well, then that's something wrong with the school. Because no one should be able to...
I think maybe we had like a couple valedictorians and then something happened to like be like, this person will speak.
There's always a way to split up. So in my mind, like it
grew up in a
shouldn't
very
all be
competitive
GPA.
County.
Yeah, it should be, sure, if GPAs are the same, now let's look at your extracurricular activities. And if you have 4 and they have none, ooh, you're now valedictorian. 1 spot.
Right. Is valedictorian
just one opportunity?
Your act was like, gosh, palm sweaty, mom spaghetti. Knees weak, arms heavy. Okay,
yeah, you're still going. Okay. I stopped it. I mean, I thought I did.
And you were talking about like most improved, stuff like that. I feel like personality awards.
Dumb.
I think they're just for fun.
They are for fun.
Well, no one else like takes it as serious. Like, so
I know
if everyone
plenty of
gets
people
one of those, it's just
hold on
fun.
to those. Hold on to them forever. I feel like when I literally hang out with my high school friends.
Granted, if you're voted like
best dressed,
I will say, I'm sure if I had that, I'd be like, I was voted best dressed in high school.
Yeah, you would tell everyone.
Yeah, it's just like fun. But I don't feel like
it's a negative one.
No, that's a good one.
Basically, what they're telling you is that you didn't pay attention to teachers. You just...
No, class clown is you make everyone laugh. I'm class clown.
Are you a class clown?
Are you a class? I can't even say this straight face.
I can't even say that straight.
Class clown.
I don't like anything that has clown associated with it, so I'm out.
Well, just because you don't like clowns.
Yeah.
What if it was most hilarious?
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay,
it would make me happy.
Class clown means.
I feel like those are superlatives, and those are great.
Okay, yeah, superlatives.
I feel like it's not an award. You've not earned anything other than the respect of your peers for being funny or dressing well.
Unless you get least likely to be on time. Because there are those too, you know?
Yeah, those are almost like little digs.
Yeah.
Little dig. I don't hate it.
So in elementary school, we had field day. Which was just like a day spent outside doing various like relays and tug of war and stuff like that. And
field activities.
Yeah. And a day of them. I loved field day. And so how it would work is like you got split up into like yellow, blue, red team or whatever. And it's like, oh, within your class, these 6 people are on the blue team and you and your team do all of the activities together.
Mm-hmm.
But then every class in every grade also has a blue team. And at the end of the day, they compile all the scores. And it's like, okay, blue team overall got first, second, third, or participant.
Ooh.
And every year of elementary school, I got participant. Ooh. And it was so upsetting because even if like my team's crushing it, I don't know what like Jack and Jill in Miss P's class, how they're doing.
Miss P's
and
class.
I'm not there to, you know, cheer them on.
Or to just get them to be better.
Yeah. So that was rough for me.
Oh, wow. You're still holding on to that one, too. So
Actually, I think one year we got a 3rd place.
Okay. It's funny you say that. Because like when there's an award or something to be won, even if it's just pride, um, I get angry. And I feel like that's something that I probably, I don't think is a good attribute to have, where it's almost like you will pick apart people, bully them, you could probably say in some cases.
Oh, no.
If they're not, like, I say that because, like, when you elect captains and and everybody picks a person.
Sure.
It's almost like you're not necessarily directly bullying, but you are bullying that person you pick last.
Did you like to be captain?
Yes.
I never wanted to be the captain.
I would stack my team, and I did not care about hurting feelings.
Maybe
as a
I
child,
did. I don't know.
Because I was here to win. All I do is win.
Like, it's rough. Like, you think in elementary school, like, if you get picked last, that sucks.
That's literally, I don't know if it's bullying per se, but it's basically like a...
Hey, you're not good at this.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna be aware of that.
Which is just, it's mean.
What is a, like, recess type game that you were, like, loved or that you were really bad at? And I ask because I immediately think of, like, oh, if we're picking teams for Red Rover,
you don't want
I'm getting picked last.
Yeah, and I hated that game because of it.
Hated Red Rover. Yeah, I wasn't good at it.
I would give it my all.
I was always chosen. I was like, yeah, we're gonna run through that bitch's arms. Like,
they would like, so, because when I was younger, especially like elementary school, I was a runt. I was the runt of the litter. And so when you're the runt of the litter, you don't do Red Rover well.
I don't think I was the runt. I wasn't good.
I said the runt of the litter. I'm a freaking dog.
Yeah.
No, that's like your nemesis game. But as I got older, loved it.
Oh, no, I never.
Because I would loved breaking people.
How
breaking?
Old were you playing Red Rover up until?
I mean, I feel like you played Red Rover until like what? 8th grade. I think you stopped playing Red River when you go to high school, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. Well, I was thinking.
And then you started playing dodgeball and decking people in the face.
Yeah, but also wasn't good at dodgeball.
I was great at dodgeball.
Body strength wasn't where it needed to be for those games.
Loved it.
And I wouldn't say I'm a strong sprinter, but I loved the game Catch Up. Did you ever play that?
No.
So it's essentially like two people are on opposite sides of the gym with a baton. And you're essentially just like chasing them, but each time you get back to your starting point, you pass it off to someone else like a relay, and you're just trying to catch up and tag
the way they got people to race or run around in circles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't run.
Like that.
I didn't like any running activities.
Not flag football, capture the flag. And I'm like, why did I like these games? You need to be fast for these games. And I was never fast.
You were never fast? Capture the flag was so much fun. You had to be strategic.
Yeah. And I do like that.
I feel like those were awards that they don't give you, but like people use their words, teachers, or like, I think I was in daycare. I was in daycare. Let me not say I think like I'm trying to pretend. I was in daycare for a long time. And anytime I got a compliment from someone older, and that was Bible. Like that, I now believed that I was that amazing word that they would tell me.
And you got that when playing Capture the Flag?
That was my award. That was my reward and award. And I got that from Capture the Flag.
Yeah. Wait, what were you told?
You're small enough and quick so you can get in and out without being detected. It's like, yes, take that.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, man, if I had speed on my side, I could have captured so many flags.
Captured all the flags.
But yeah, I think I was like the planner. I was like, this is how it's going to work. So I was like the general.
The general. Yeah. Literally what I thought. Oh, that's a great task though, or talent. You bring something to the table.
Thank you. Now, awards in college, basically, I'm trying to think like, do I care about awards now? And I'm like, oh yeah, if I feel like they are earned, then it's very exciting. Like I got some awards in college and I remember being like, I am proud of me. Like now in my 30s, I care less about them. But at the time I was like,
I'm trying to think of like what awards or rewards you get in college. Because like I didn't think of it Dean's List.
Yeah.
Mention that. It's like I didn't think of that as an award. And I was never going to be top of my class. And that is the ultimate. Because they really care when you get a job after school if you were the first person in your class.
The 1%.
Yeah, no, I think early on I was like, yeah, I just need to like
Yeah, I'm
do
actually
other
thinking
things.
I didn't necessarily like, I don't know if I like submitted to be like, oh, this is a competition that I won, but being like, like being recognized for something and being like, here's this award. So like when you got that award at work.
Yeah, I didn't. I felt like the awards that we got when we were at Compare, I thought they were just jokes.
Yeah. Well, not the one that you got though. That one's a real one.
Oh yeah, but that's because you get a prize with it.
Yeah.
So like an award, the award itself, that wasn't the prize. Like that wasn't the reward that you felt. It was the free money, the trip,
Right.
cash.
Yeah.
Like that's the sick part.
What did you end up doing with that?
I think I got fired, or laid off quickly after
did
that.
You still get your prize
so
money?
yeah, I think they just give you cash.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a cash.
But did you do something fun with it?
I don't remember. I probably just was like, oh, I don't have a job, so I have to save this
Right.
money.
Yeah. I'll use it to buy groceries.
Which actually, now that I think
you
about it,
got good severance.
how
though.
ironic is it that an employee gets the ultimate award at the company? Like, was it no comparison?
It was literally, I don't know, but
saying that no one else at the company.
you
can
are
compare.
the best
You're the
employee,
best employee we
this
have.
year. Yeah. But
This
you
year-
know what? We've
You're
had enough
fired.
of that.
You're fired. Like, what? It was literally like 2 months later when they announced the layoffs.
I actually use you as an example regularly whenever like people in my life are feeling like really bad if about getting laid off, like it's affecting their self-worth. And I'm like, y'all, my friend Jen was literally like voted on by the executive, not just like her peers, the executives in the company were like, you are the most valuable employee we have. And then she got laid off 2 months later.
Yeah.
So that was a like golden ticket of you're safe here. And then they said, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
So if it
made
can
you feel
happen
real
to
good.
Jen, it can happen to anyone.
It's that makes you feel real good about yourself.
Yeah.
Especially when you get called while you're overseas and finding out you lost your job too. That whole thing was fun. So yeah, awards don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Don't mean shit.
But then also when you don't get them, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, in the Richmond theater community, they have these things called the Artsies. And it's essentially like all of the theaters, put on productions all year long. And then there are these like critics who like vote and nominate for like, oh, this was the best musical, best supporting actor. So similar to like the Oscars or whatever, but for like the Richmond theater scene.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I guess I said Oscars. I should say like Tonys, I guess. That's
I was
for
thinking
theater.
it, but like it's Oscars,
but the same
ESPYs, Tony,
concept.
whatever. I don't know what those.
But also, it's like you can tell yourself like, okay, it's the Richmond theater community. It's also based on like Richmond theater critics. It's not like the New York Times or something is like giving me this award. And so you're like, to be nominated, you're like, okay, realize it's not anything. But then if you don't get it, you're still like, oh, like if you do get it, it's like, wow.
It's that
but also you're like,
a little bummed.
when you don't get it, you're like, well, it doesn't mean anything. But also if I had gotten it,
it means everything.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, you think that's how I guess people approach that?
I guess I know a lot of people who I think like equally took it very seriously, but also were like, I know it's dumb. Because honestly, like what are awards?
It's recognition.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody likes to be recognized when they're working their ass off.
Yeah. Now, do you get, and I guess it's like, but also like judging things like art is so personal. So like, who's to say like this actress was better in this play versus this actress who was better in a totally different play? Like, it's not like two actresses performed the same part and then you are judging them.
Those are things that I think there's too much of people's opinions, judges' opinions, people who are voting's opinions that get in the way. And so I treat this, I think of this when I think of gymnastics. Because it is 100% the judge at that time's opinion of what you've just done. And like literally they've shown that you could go out and perform what would be a 10, and it's a 10 for a lot of judges, and then the next person behind you performs it maybe slightly differently, and they choose to give the first person maybe an 8, and now the next person did it exactly the same way and gets a 9. But I don't know what the scoring is. I'm probably butchering the example, but like basically anything. That's why I like sports. Even though that we try to, there's still opinions that can impact it throughout the game. Refs, judges.
Sure.
I like it when there's less interference from someone's judgment and their opinion on that performance.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, I feel like I value those
there
more.
There just is an answer.
Yes, 100%. Like the accounting in me says, oh, this adds up. Great. Okay. I'm evened out. Like this is exactly how it should work. It is clear that this is the person who won. And like I said, obviously refs impact it a lot, but for the most part, the better team wins. In gymnastics, in theater, in award ceremonies,
not so much.
Not so much the better person winning.
Right.
I mean, it was how frequent was it in like music, the music industry, when like someone would completely get outshined and it's like their genre maybe hits 10% of the population, but because it was like that person or whoever it was that did the judging, they're like, this person's best album of the, I don't even actually know if that's a good example because I don't watch those awards, but I feel like those
you
are
also
opinionated.
think of like people's biases that come into play, like unconsciously and stuff like that.
100%.
I think with I don't know, some like if you're auditioning to be in like a symphony or something like that. I've heard, I don't know if this is always the case or just this was one story I heard once, but they will like not watch you play. They will like face the other way. So they're just listening to how you play and they're not putting any sort of additional bias on like, oh, is this a man or a woman or to race or whatever. But then someone was like, oh, you hear a woman walking out in heels. And they're like, oh, well, I know that's a woman or something like that. But yeah, I just think that's
I like things that we try to take away. So, like the voice is exactly what I thought of when you mentioned that.
Oh, the show. Yeah, because they're faced the other way. Yeah.
And so it's like they're there to sing. Judge them on their singing.
Yeah.
100%. But you can't do that when you're like unconsciously making judgments about someone.
Right.
And yeah, it can sound worse solely based on these, like kind of what you take away from that. Yeah, that's oh man. Yeah, no, I don't know. Awards, I no longer value awards, I think.
I think I would if I was working really hard towards something.
See, what I value is recognition, and it doesn't have to be in an award. So like, if the company wants to give awards to like the people that are working hard, whatever it is, but my boss tells me like, hey, you did a really good job on this.
Yeah.
That's like that is the most powerful thing I feel like for me.
Yeah.
Is just like, hey, you did a great job on this. I actually even prefer it when I get hey, you did really well. Here's an opportunity to improve. Because I hate it when I'm constantly given positive feedback because I don't think I'm growing.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I want critiques.
Yeah. Do you want me to critique our friendship?
I mean, if that
I can't think of anything.
It'd make me feel good. Why not?
Wait, would it make you feel good?
Yeah. I value your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would make me feel good, but I would appreciate that we have a relationship where someone can say like, hey, you did this and I don't like it.
Yeah. I think you should be able to be in like relationships, friendships, etc., where you can express how you feel.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I don't have any critiques currently.
No.
But I'll let you know at your annual review.
Annual review. All right, we need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it now.
Can you imagine if I set one of those up with all of my friends?
Yeah, so this year...
Here's what you've done well. You actually, on average, it took you this long to respond to my texts. And we're looking for a window between here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You canceled last minute this many times. This is how many times I reached out first.
If you continue down this path, I have to terminate the friendship.
Right. They'll be like, based on this meeting we had, I'm ready to terminate it. Shit.
Yeah, that would suck. Oh man, awards. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have any other like fun or just like interesting related awards thing. I really, when I think about awards and like participation type stuff, I do think of field day because had a lot of those participation ribbons.
Yeah, I also feel like just in general, well, not in general, but like whenever someone hears participation trophies or like that, it's always got a negative connotation to it.
Yeah. And I'm of the opinion where I'm like, yeah, you can be recognized for participating. You're not going to be recognized as the best.
Yeah. Whereas the gripe should be more with what we're communicating verbally.
Yeah.
In association with like a participation or just in general. It shouldn't be as much on like, hey, you came out, you tried your hardest, like, here's your participation, because that is more than other people have done.
Yeah. Some people are too scared to do that.
Exactly.
Not you. And you stuck with it. And especially at like a young age, like
you need to
sticking with something or like when it's hard or whatever. Like, I think that's cool.
Yeah, it has a lot to be said. Because if you start early and quit halfway through, you don't get that participation trophy.
No.
And you need to know that there's consequences.
Yeah. And I think it's like
you're letting other people down. No, seriously though.
Yeah.
Like I think that's
and like not just saying everyone's the best. That's how you learn how to like win and lose and how you react in those situations and like how understanding your feelings, like, well, how do you feel? Do you want to win? Well, this is how you get better, blah, blah, blah. So I actually would love to get some feedback from like teachers or parents who have dealt with this like participation trophy thing. I feel like it was in like the zeitgeist like a few years ago. Like it's not as, you don't see it like floating around and people complaining about it as much anymore. At least I don't. But I'm just curious.
It's a good question. I would be curious if because I feel like it presents a good opportunity to how you communicate these things.
Yeah.
So like an opportunity to say like what this means, or, hey, you didn't get the big trophy because you didn't come in first place.
Yeah.
Like you said, here's how you can work on getting to that place.
Yeah.
You didn't play in the game because
you're not good.
Yeah, I don't know how you say that. That's why I don't coach children, or at all. But yeah, there's like I feel like that should be where it's more. It's I don't know how to say this exactly, but like more thought should go into what's communicated to kids around a participation or around growth, whatever that is, versus just, oh my God, everybody gets participation awards. Like that shouldn't be the negative thing.
Yeah, I do think so. All of these plastic trophies that are still in my childhood room, my niece, if she's like spending the night with her grandparents, my parents, she'll sleep in my bed or my old bed. And she's been like, I want those. And either like my parents or her parents or someone has been like, yeah, you got to work for that.
Got to work hard for those.
And I do feel like that has been motivating to her because she just like stares at it as she goes to sleep and she's like, I want that.
Rachel's so cool. Yeah. Trophies are fun.
And granted, I was like, she doesn't know. I could have just gone to one of those trophy stores and
bought it.
That's
what we did. We have a trophy now for the ping pong river champion.
Oh.
And whoever wins, and it's really just my brother and Nathan.
You know, we should play ping pong again.
It's so much fun.
It was really fun when we used to play a lot together.
Yeah.
During that time, my family went on we go on a beach vacation every year, and there happened to be a ping pong table in the garage at that house. And I
dominated everybody. And how good did that feel?
Like even one of the like dads that was there, and like dads, when I say that I mean like not people our age who have kids, like our age type dads, or our dads type, our
parents type
dads. He just wasn't my dad. He was getting like mad because he was like, why can no one beat her? And I was like, gosh, casually playing ping pong at work has really
upped your game.
Yeah, but now I'm like, I never want to play again with them because I really like holding on to that.
Yeah. You
championship
don't wanna
status. And like my dad is known, like we associate him with just like being good at every athletic event.
Yeah.
And so when he was like, all right, I'll play her. And he also couldn't win. And I was just like, and people were like, Skylar, do you want to play her? And she's like, no. Did I say she? He's like, no, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not into that. God, that is my
he's
ultimate.
too competitive. So he's like, no, I'll just get mad at her.
That's how I am. I only want to perform or play games, whatever, that I'm going to win.
Yeah. Well, I also want to add, I am not exceptional at ping pong. Like everyone else that I would play at work, if they listened to
I got beat all the time.
They always beat me. They would add like spin to it and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, new guys in there with a special paddle that's
like... Oh, wow. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
We worked with guys who all bought their own ping pong paddles.
Yeah. Well, that's what my brother and Nathan do. They bought custom paddles. Well, I guess Nathan had his paddle
custom paddle cost?
My brother bought the paddle.
And like $30.
No. I would imagine that
they're like Olympic ping pong paddles.
Absurdly expensive for no reason.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm like, if you're like an Olympian ping pong player, then they're probably like $1,000+ because it's all like, oh, the grip and the weight and how it balances in your hand and stuff. But then you can just buy like a fancy ping pong paddle on Amazon for probably like $30.
I'm thinking that my brother is the type of guy who probably paid like $80 for a paddle.
That's dedication.
Calling you out, bro. Yeah, still
all the paddles I've played with have the like grip that's peeling off the edges.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's black and red.
Yep.
And it's got like little beads on it.
Yep.
And there's falling
like
apart.
Chunks ripped off of it. And you're like, how did that even happen?
But that's a true champion, though.
Yeah.
That's actually an award in and of itself.
Some wins.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
A fun topic.
I liked that. Thank you, Skylar. Appreciated awards. If you listened, and if you listen, you're hearing this. I'm not good at the closing. I'm gonna just try it here.
Oh, is it because I called you out?
You did call me out,
but it's okay. I'm happy with that being my responsibility.
Well, I liked what you said earlier. I would love to hear from people who actually like teachers or coaches and like how you feel about awards and participation things, or like maybe it's how you approach it with kids.
Yeah, I'd be curious. How like if you're like a coach of a team, how like parents maybe.
Ooh.
Like I think that's very fascinating, like in youth sports, like if they've ever said anything, or I don't know. Yeah, I'd be very curious. Speaking of people reaching out and sharing things with us, someone said to me recently that we always say that we're in Jen's attic. I actually had 2 people say this to me. We're in Jen's attic, and they assume we're like in an unfinished attic, like on wooden floorboards with like a single light with a string that you pull on. And people are like, yeah, you must be like sweating your asses off up there. I'm like, I mean, it does get warm. And then I realized that's because they think we're in like a dusty old attic.
No,
and then they're like, so I watched you on YouTube for the first time. Like, they're on a comfortable couch up there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a cheap couch, but
it's better than hardwood floor.
Yeah. I've done a lot to get this little nook nice and cute.
Yeah. You know, when I refer to friends or people who say things, I don't always use names. And I wonder if we should, like say people's names, like give them shout outs.
Well, let us know if you want to be shouted out.
Well, you have to do something worthy of being shouted out.
Well, we have to be careful.
Ben and Joey both made those comments to me.
Thank you, Ben and Joey. Also, as soon as you were describing that, it made me think of Harry Potter's Cupboard Under the Stairs.
That's where we record.
And that is it.
We could get a sign and call this the cupboard above the stairs.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
And there's Harry Potter stuff everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Which is sad that I got the Harry Potter stuff wrong.
Yeah, you got a lot of shit for that too.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. I'm taking it back. Please, if you haven't checked us out on YouTube and want to see what the pod space looks like, even though I guess they're only going to see this wall, but yeah, I would love if you subscribed. That's very exciting for me to see. Follow us on the gram at Similar But Different Pod. Please send us your topic suggestions. You can just leave a comment on any of our posts. You can DM us. You can text us if you
know us.
And if not, honestly, I'd be impressed about how you found the number and where you found it, and I'd want to know. So
actually, that's a good point.
Yeah. Sweet.
Dark web.
Well, thanks, y'all.
Peace out.
Till next time. It's toasters. Pepperoni toasters.
Pepperoni. Is that a thing? Pepperoni toasters?
No, something Skylar and I say. So it would make no sense to you.
I love that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you about these pepperoni toasters that me and Skylar are all about, and I'm just like, yeah,
it's not even a food.